show us here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Smith.
All right, it is Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions. This is the NFL Roundtable Talk. How is everybody doing? And joining the stage is Cameron. Luke, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good.
How was that win Sunday for you?
I cried.
Oh, we all did.
I didn't.
It was
long suffering. And Donkey Kong, I'm starting to agree with you.
Oh yeah.
That being said, man, we've had no coaching hires yet, have we?
Hold on. Hit my lights.
No.
Keegan,
Not
I
yet.
sent it. Just where I sent it to you.
Sorry, I'm in my pajama pants. It's been a little chilly.
Hey, that's okay. I heard it down there.
Yeah, it hit. I didn't mind it too much. It hit like 14, 15 degrees over the last couple of days.
It's cold in every part of the country, it seems like.
Not Florida. It's 78 degrees down there, and those guys can suck it.
True, except for
Lucky
Florida.
bastards.
That's Florida's cold. What do you mean?
Right. Anyone else talking the Lions? We'll be talking about that too, because this is the divisional round pick 'ems. We got a little news coming out. Right now, Aaron Glenn has 6 interview offers, and he said he's going to attend every single one of them.
What about
And
Ben Johnson?
Johnson has 5, and he's accepted 2 this week. That is the Commanders or the Foreskins or the Redskins, whatever you want to call them, and then the Seahawks.
So Aaron Glenn wants out, and Ben Johnson's going to make the best choice.
I noticed he
That's
didn't.
what I got out of that.
See, we got a laughy face up there from Levert Sanders, but and I thought it was funny. Sunday we watched Dallas get spanked by the Packers. Monday morning, Bill Bellichek says shit and runs to the fail camps.
Absolutely went right to them.
It is at least a 3rd round compensatory pick and possibly a 5th if he takes a head coaching job. But we will not get them till the 2025 season because it's the season after they leave.
Okay, what did I miss? Sorry.
We were talking. Somebody asked about the compensatory picks we get for Glenn if he takes a new job. They would be in the 2025 season, but it would more than likely either be the 3rd and a 5th or a 3rd and a 6th.
Checks out.
But and here comes Keegan. What up, Keegan?
How's it going?
Fantastic. Another day in paradise.
In other news, Dallas is staying with Mike McCarthy for another year.
Which is shocking.
I don't know that it is.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't. I mean, it is because of his underwhelming performances, but it also isn't because Jerry Jones rides the wheels until they fall off and stuff like that.
True. I thought Dan Quinn would have been like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Seattle because I'm familiar.
So he's still on the board. As far as I know, he hasn't announced whether he's staying with Dallas for another year or not.
I think he has interviews, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he has interviews.
And then Micah Parsons said that if Dan Quinn leaves, he's going with him.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he
There's no
can't.
way it could happen. He's not a free agent, and Jerry Jones would be like, "Yep, not happening."
You got to
Wayne
give me
Beazel
3
says-
first-round picks and 7
What?
second-round picks.
Okay.
So
Wayne Beazel asked, "What about Prescott?" Prescott is set to make $59.5 million, basically $60 million next year, and they just traded for Trey Lance on a rookie deal. And the thing that was said
Yes, they
about
did.
Dak in the preseason or in the offseason was that he had to prove something to Jerry Jones. I think the way he played proved I'm going to put them all in one bucket because they all failed in the playoffs at one point or another and never made it anywhere. It's Tony Prescott, Dak Cousins, and Kirk Romo.
Yes.
They are all in that same bucket. Great regular season numbers, nice touchdown to interception ratio most years, but fail to get it done in prime time and postseason.
Indeed.
Can we discuss how Green Bay is undefeated at AT&T Stadium?
They're 9-1 in the last 5 years, or 10 years, times they played there.
They're
3-0
5-0
in the playoffs there, though.
or 5-0 in the playoffs.
Versus Dallas, the last 10 years in Dallas, they're 9-1. Period.
Mm-hmm. But they just rebuilt they built AT&T Stadium like the last 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
I think it was 6 because I remember going to
Eli
Six
Manning.
Flags in 2017 and they were still finishing it.
Because I think he has less than a $10 million dead cap. So if they get rid of him, it saves them almost $50 million in cap room.
Who's that?
The Cowboys by getting rid of Dak Prescott. Because he's in
No,
the
it had to
last
be
year.
more than 6 years.
It
It
might have
definitely
been.
had to be more than 6 years because Eli Manning had the first win in the new stadium, and he autographed it on the wall.
I remember that. Hey Siri, when was AT&T Stadium built? My phone's not. When was AT&T Stadium built?
So to backtrack to what you said, Quinn has interviews with Carolina, Chargers.
Oh, 2009, apparently. It's a lot more than 10 years.
Seahawks,
I'm just saying.
and the
Rick
Titans.
says Lions.
Hmm?
That's Jerry Jones' wish coming back to haunt him. That's right, because when he fired Jimmy Johnson, he wished that they would just get one more Super Bowl the next year with Barry Switzer. He got what he wanted. That's all they've had is that one more Super Bowl with Barry Switzer.
Yep.
Let's talk that Goff contract extension.
Why are we even talking about it? Because we really don't have to. He's under contract next year.
Yeah.
I understand. I
Brad
feel like
Holmes-
he's earned it though.
I don't think so.
He showed up.
I think he's only as good as the pieces around him. If the starting 5 is not up front, he does not carry this team.
I understand that.
And I don't think he's earned it.
I agree with Jeremy.
I think that
Because he's asking for Lamar Jackson and better money. That's all I know. Is they said they're far apart on money. Brad Holmes and Goff's agent. So if they're far apart on money, and 18.2% is the cutoff for bets that have won the Super Bowl, not named John Matthew Stafford since 2000.
if
2% equals 41.2 million. And I think that's Brad's ceiling.
I would agree with that.
so, with Goff having one that still has the rest of the next season for a contract,
Mm-hmm.
I think that if Goff goes back to how he was playing before throwing those picks, he plays like that. He's getting an extension.
But he only played like that with the front 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That is the key. He's only as good as that front 5. It has nothing to do with the defense. It has nothing to do with the wide receivers that we're playing. Because it didn't matter whether Jameson Williams is on the field or not. It mattered about who was blocking for him. if he doesn't have that top 2 O-line completely intact, he does not do well. He was bottom 5 in QBs under pressure this year. Guess who was right there with him? Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
Say what you want. It all starts with that O-line. And I think keeping the team intact is better than spending 45 to 50 million on a quarterback.
Indeed. Yeah.
We only have 71 million. Take away 18. What does that leave?
About
53.
53 million.
3.
So 53 million is what you have for re-signing and free agent cap space.
I think if he plays well enough for us to at least get to the division championship, or even win, or not the division championship, the conference championship, and even win the conference championship, I think he's earned an extension. If he plays well enough and he takes care of that ball, regardless of the front 5 or not, he has earned a contract extension. If he can get us to a Super Bowl, if he gets us that far this year.
It all depends on the health of the O-line.
Oh, I know.
It
And I'm
does.
not trying to be funny. I'm not trying. I'm as realistic as it comes when it comes to the cap management thing. And all you have to look at is, does anybody think that Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to get past everybody they got to get through?
They've got Buffalo this week. They've got
And they
Buffalo this week, who's got a stout defense.
Buffalo this week, and then they got the winner of the Texans-Ravens game next week, right?
And
Yeah.
the Texans beat the absolute dog shit out of the Browns, who had one of the best defenses in the league.
No, the best defense. Number 1 defense overall. Who was their defensive coordinator this year?
I don't remember.
Jim Schwartz.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Jim Schwartz.
Oh,
Jim Schwartz takes. After that Super Bowl, he retired away from Philly, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Been away for 5 years, comes back and coaches another number 1 defense.
Yep.
but he was give that. I think that GM the Browns have gave him that roster, and he just
That roster was built just like the Detroit roster was for Caldwell defensively.
He came in with a capable team there. You had Myles Garrett for one, who's arguably one of the
Denzel Ward.
Mm-hmm.
They had guys all over that field,
Greg
and they were
Newsome.
smart enough to cut that. They were smart enough to cut that bum that I said was a bum coming out of college that they picked in the 2nd round, which was a mistake to begin with 5 years ago.
Did y'all see the
3D Williams.
Did y'all see the back and forth between CD Deuce and Baker Mayfield?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I worked. Ralph Williams Media comes in. Hello, guys. RW Media.
I made fortunately I work from home, so I get a lot of time to just sit on my phone. Essentially, CD Deuce made the comment that if Tampa got a legitimate quarterback with the wide receivers they have, they would be a legitimate threat. He had listed off Mike Evans, Godwin, and then a third one who hasn't played all year because of a knee injury in the preseason.
Palmer.
Was it Palmer? It might have been Palmer. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look.
Palmer that came back and played and had the big play last night? Yeah.
Yeah. So then Baker makes the comment to CD that he needs to go watch some film.
That's what I saw.
And because then he would know that Palmer hadn't played all year. Well, CD turns around and makes the comment, "Oh, I watched plenty of film." He's like, "Don't worry, Tampa iPad part 2 loading now." And he posted a picture of Tom Brady throwing his iPad because he kept throwing picks to CD Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
So I think Baker. I don't know what's gotten into this Tampa offense because they were firing on all cylinders last week too. So was their defense.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the same Tampa that we played in week 6 at all.
No, it isn't. But we're not the same team we played in week 6.
No, we had 6 players out week 6 that are all playing this week.
Yep.
The only
And Laporta was limited that game.
we didn't
Houston.
have Montgomery.
Was Houston activated today?
I don't think so.
He had to be activated by 5 o'clock, or he goes back to the IR.
My phone is about to die. My phone just died.
Look.
Google.
Help. He says, Google, help.
Well, I was about to look it up.
That, so it would have came up.
Um, 7 hours ago, January 11th, January 10th. I need January 17th.
Houston was full practice today.
He was full practice, but that doesn't mean anything. They have to file that he's active.
Yeah.
Everything I'm seeing says that he's ready.
Right.
He's saying he's ready.
Cool.
I haven't seen anything. They may not even announce it until tomorrow.
Didn't JB just say that the deadline was 5 o'clock tonight?
Yes, the deadline was, but they may not announce it publicly until tomorrow.
No, it had to be publicly announced
Oh,
by 5 o'clock today.
Yeah. So sounds like Houston isn't playing.
but here's the thing: is his 21-day window was activated, so wouldn't there be the exact same announcement that he's going back to IR? And I'm not even seeing that. All I'm seeing is 7 hours ago. The Detroit Lions have to decide by Thursday. We're still on Wednesday, so they have tomorrow.
Okay.
They have to decide tomorrow whether or not he's coming back.
Panthers interviewing Raheem Morris.
Why do we have to be playing Sunday this week? Why can't we just play Saturday? That'd make me so much happier.
No, that's okay. I like it the way it is.
I mean, I do too, but I don't want to wait till Sunday.
3 o'clock game.
It's okay, young one. Be patient.
At least
I know. It's like I've tasted another playoff win for the first time since I don't know when.
Let
at
it be
least
a
we
win.
got the earlier game.
Yeah, no joke.
Because guess who else has to think about it? And they're on short rest.
Who's that?
The Bucks.
Oh yeah, that's right. They played Monday. They absolutely handed Philly their ass. I'm kind of sad
They're
seeing
so
that.
nice.
I love
sad.
Dad. Dad comes in and says, I've been calling myself an old coot for a while when I realize most people older than me are in Congress. So I guess that makes me
That is a good one. That is a good one, Crazy Ken.
So, kind of sad to see that Jason Kelsey is retiring.
So actually, hey, there's news to that story though.
Yeah, he went on his podcast about it. He said that he's gonna wait because he technically did announce retirement, but that he's gonna wait until he's in a better state of mind to sit there and actually think about it. He's gonna take time to think about it, but it's not official.
In reality, he didn't say anything to media or anything about.
No, he said it to his teammates, and the media took it and ran with it.
Yeah, they did. Exactly. I was
Basically,
listening.
He's planning to retire. He just wants to announce it in a better way.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't want to sit there and do it when he's emotional and hot off a loss in the playoffs, especially when this is a team that last year contended in the Super Bowl. This year started out 10-1, and then just the fucking wheels fell off and they fell apart. And
thank you, Matt Patricia.
And that's the thing is, I hate it.
Hold on, Keegan. It wasn't even just Matt Patricia. If that's all you're going to blame it on, then you don't fucking know football. It was their offense that sucked. They had 5 freaking plays. They were unoriginal at all. A.J. Brown got hurt, and they couldn't throw the deep ball anymore. They never adjusted the run. All they did is quarterback sneak, throw it to Deonta Smith, throw it to Dallas Goedert, who hadn't been catching shit, and run the fucking tush push to make Jason Kelsey yell "fuck my life" every time.
Mhm.
I agree with Leonard.
It started with Patricia, and then after that, the offense followed suit.
It wasn't even Petrasha.
It wasn't Patricia first off. It was the offense first off.
Offense started to stall. Once the offense started to stall, it's kind of like Detroit. If our defense doesn't show up at all, then we're losing. Or if our offense doesn't show up, we're losing. If our offense does not show up at all, look at the LA game. You know, defense had some good plays, got away with that PI at the end. In my opinion, that offset the bullshit ass false start in the second quarter. But defense finally showed up, but it was a 1-point game. Baltimore, offense didn't show up all game. We got stomped 38-6.
Mm-hmm.
We are a top 5 offense in the league. Top 1 or 2 offense in the NFC? And we got stomped by Baltimore. Granted, Baltimore also stomped San Francisco and Seattle.
Okay.
I'm hoping Houston takes care of them this week.
Same
Okay.
here.
Same here. I actually expect it.
I do too.
That's my 4. I wait till you hear it. Green Bay could beat 49ers, but I just think that defense is more well-rounded than anything they've seen so far.
More than anything Green Bay seen.
Mhm.
Yes. But at the same time, there is the Kirk Cousins curse.
No team who's lost to Kirk Cousins has made an appearance in the Super Bowl. And both of those teams lost to Cousins. So if that curse holds, no matter which one of them wins, the winner of our game, in theory, would go to the Super Bowl. So by that curse, either Detroit or Tampa will be the team in the Super Bowl.
No.
Yes, by that curse. Because both teams in the 49ers-Packers game has lost to Kirk Cousins this year.
Tampa has not lost to Kirk Cousins.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
You're
That's
not
what I'm
listening.
saying.
Keegan.
The 49ers and the Packers both lost to Cousins. So no
Come on,
matter which
Keegan.
one of them wins, they're losing by the curse. They would lose to the winner of our game because Detroit and
Tampa did not lose to Kirk Cousins.
we never played Cousins. We played Nick Mullins, who had 2 400-yard games and still managed to lose. How the hell you do that? I don't know.
Tampa played Kirk Cousins and won.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Green Bay lost to Kirk in week
Keegan?
8.
Yep. Keegan, sometimes you are enough to make a grown man drink a cup of bleach.
That's okay.
Oh,
My mind wants to go tonight.
dang.
For situations like that, I have this.
I have the gym version of that.
Hold on.
You got the 1800 Lions bottle?
No, I don't, sadly. I also have this.
40 points or under for the Lions. I think it's going to be under. That defense is playing better than it did last time, but we're healthier. And our defense is playing better than it did last time.
Remember that time I said we were going to beat, who was it? Was it Minnesota? No, it wasn't Minnesota. It was Denver, 40-20.
Oh, yeah.
And you were
I'm expecting a game like that. And I was like 5-point spread off. We had, I think,
we were 2 points short, and they were 3 point under, too.
I was close. And I think it's going to be a similar game.
I don't.
Tampa, like Denver, is now firing on all cylinders. But if Ford Field shows up this Sunday like they did last week, Tampa already lost to us at home in their home stadium because of our crowd noise.
Right.
How do you think it's going to be when they go from struggling with our crowd noise in their home stadium to struggling with our crowd noise in our
Speaking
stadium?
about crowd noise, guess what stadium now has the loudest indoor decibels?
Mhm.
And it happened last week.
Yep.
Ford Field versus the Rams, 133.6 decibels. To put that
That's
into
awesome.
perspective, so for anybody that doesn't understand, a jet engine on takeoff is 115 decibels.
Did it beat the Chiefs? I know it's a bit close, but did it beat the Chiefs?
No.
That's an outdoor stadium. It's different, and they
overall,
have the way they're
it echoes.
right.
I'm asking overall. Sorry.
The way their stadium is built, it reverberates back down to the field, just like they did for Seattle, and the way they added that UFO on the top of Soldier Field.
Overall, we have the fourth loudest record for decibels.
And I think those three are the ones that are louder, right?
I don't know about Soldier Field, but I do know Seattle's and Kansas City's were
right. Kansas City's number 1, if I remember right.
Yes.
Seattle's number 2.
Yes.
And I don't know who's number 3, but I know we're 4th.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I know. Here's the thing: is I can only imagine what that was like because I was at the Detroit Dallas game, and when we thought we had that game-winning 2-point at the end, that crowd was deafening. I didn't think there were that many Lions fans inside the stadium. That crowd was deafening after we thought we had the 2-point with Decker.
Speaking of which, has anybody noticed how flat Kelsey has played this year?
Travis?
Yeah.
About as flat as his girlfriend's singing skills?
And her body.
Shit, I didn't. I wasn't going to go there.
I mean, she's built like a 2x4.
You were setting that one up.
Yes, I was.
Told you, man. She's built like a fucking 12-year-old boy. Will's got more curves on his chin than she has on her body.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say he has a bigger butt on his chin than she has in her panties.
I never understood the Taylor Swift hype. My ex was into Taylor Swift heavily. She watched all the documentaries and all the movies and followed all the concerts.
Nobody
tours,
understands
and I'm like,
it.
I could not fucking care enough.
Cameron, no one understands it. It's a cult.
Oh, I'm aware. Here's the thing. Kansas City can go sit over there with Taylor Swift, who's a role model. We got fucking Eminem.
Dude,
One of the
what
dudes-
I said
You're
was
gonna lose yourself.
and Pat McAfee, JJ Watt said on Pat McAfee, how cool would it be to have Eminem walk out before the Lions players come out and sings "Lose Yourself" walking out.
You must not have
of
seen
the
it.
tunnel.
So, this past Sunday in the stadium, pre-game, and even during the game, when the Jumbotron cut to Slim, everybody in the stadium was singing "Lose Yourself." Every single person.
I saw that. That was amazing. I almost cried.
Even that hype video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, that hype video was amazing. Where he's like, "I rapped for you. You owe us."
Hey, LDV Tennis says in college, Goff tweeted about Taylor Swift. The tweet suggests he had a crush on her, and that's why he didn't do anything till a year after college.
And look who he has as a wife. Swimsuit.
I would take Goff's wife and his wife over Taylor Swift any day of the week.
Yeah.
Can we discuss Kelly Stafford and talking about how the fans booed her
She
children?
already came out and she goes, I realized they weren't booing my children. They were booing me and my husband in the Rams. She already retracted it.
But the fact that it took her that long to realize, hey, they're not booing your kids. Like,
it sounds
she's
like
a wife who believes in see you next Tuesday is not just what she is.
It sounds like a in the moment kind of thing. Her husband just lost, and she wanted to be there with him, and then made excuses that our fans were booing her. And then she retracted.
It's all it is. Reactionary.
The fans kind of were douchebags, though, dude. There was no need for all that hatred.
I can understand if you don't cheer him. Here's the thing. I can understand if you don't cheer for him. I can understand if you don't wear his jerseys. I get all that. But to sit here and boo him as audibly as we did, a man who gave his heart and soul not only to the Lions organization for 12 years, but the actual Detroit community itself, I can understand don't cheer him. I can understand don't wear his jerseys. I can understand being super loud to disrupt him during huddles and at the line of scrimmage. Booing him wasn't that necessary though.
Wasn't
Hell,
me.
it hurt my soul watching him get injured. Matthew Stafford's one of the reasons I'm a fucking Lions fan. Now, I get, yes, he was the enemy. Yes, he was in our way.
She had her kids in really loud jackets that said "Born in Detroit, raised in L.A." That was a jab, 100%.
I don't know how to feel about that one.
James Burgess says it perfect. Odd stat of the night: one QB in history has led 2 teams to their first playoff win in over 10 years. His name is Jared Goff.
Yep, Rams and the Lions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The only 2 teams he's played for.
I got something I want to talk about with y'all guys tonight anyway.
Go ahead.
All these cold weather games and the snow games that are unprepared with the stadiums. How do you guys think that they should address this stuff? Do you feel like the teams like your Kansas City, your Green Bay, your Chicago, your Buffalo, your Steelers should be required to have at least a dome or retractable dome? At that Chiefs game, 17
Fine.
Isn't Buffalo
17
building a new
people went to the
stadium
hospital
onto
after
the roof?
He's talking. Let him finish his thought.
Oh, my bad.
17 people that were at that Chiefs game went to the hospital with hypothermia, Edward frostbite, and 2 were in serious condition. At what point do they need to worry about the safety of the fans and the players?
Yes. The players have it a bit easier because they're down there. They're moving around. They're staying active. They're staying warm. They've got the big-ass coats that are meant to keep them heated up. Like Keegan was saying, Buffalo is in the process, I believe, of building, at least from what I read, they're in the process of building a dome.
They are.
They're building a new stadium that is domed. These northern football teams, Green Bay, Chicago, Kansas City, all that, they do need to build stadiums.
The one thing I can Green Bay has done that nobody else has is they heated their field so their field was soft so it wouldn't cause as many injuries in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Now, if those teams would do that, the same thing, I think it would be a better situation.
For the players.
For the players.
Yes, but not your fans.
Yeah, no, you also gotta think about the fans. Now, I will also say this about Kansas City, because when I moved my best friend down from Minneapolis to we were on our way to Minneapolis. We, of course, drove through Kansas City, Missouri. And this was about a week before Thanksgiving. And even then, it was freezing cold. And so I can only imagine what it felt like. And I know what the cold felt like here in Texas. Even though for someone who loves the cold, I didn't want to be outside that long in the cold for a game.
No, I've been through a snow game before, and they are bitter.
Quick question. You said that 5 got hypothermia at the Steelers game?
Chiefs game.
The Chiefs game.
I thought you said Steelers.
No, we said Chiefs.
No.
I said at the Chiefs game, and then I said if the cold weather teams, if they should be required to have a dome or something like that for the safety of your fans and your players like that.
I think they should do a dome like they have in Arizona, Houston, and like the one they're building in Jacksonville.
Where
a retractable dome.
Yeah.
That way, when the inclement weather comes, it can be closed.
Yep. But in the nice, warm,
don't get me
sunny
wrong,
days,
I love snow games.
In KC, the beer was solid ice, beer sickles.
Did you guys actually hear, speaking of stuff like that, like the beer, the water, whenever people placed it down, it got so cold it exploded?
Yep, no one in LA knows who Kelly is. More people in LA know who Brittany Mahomes is because she was hanging out with Taylor Swift before and after the Golden Globe ceremony. Kelly is a nobody in LA.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, no matter what Kelly and Matt do, they're not going to have the same reach in LA that they had in Detroit.
All Northern Bay teams should have a dome field, point blank, period.
Yes, 100%.
Wait, let's see. Maybe one guy that
Yes.
was shirtless the whole game. I mean, come on, you deserve anything that happens to you when you make that kind of idiotic decision.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. And James Burgess backs him up and says Ken Ballrick performs stupid acts, receives stupid awards.
You
Mark Malik, also known as Donkey Kong, says Super Bowl or bust.
Rumor has it he's still frozen to his seat to this day.
Yeah,
They've been out there with the pocket warmers, just throwing them at him.
18 inches. And like, if it's going to be a dusting, leave the dome open. If it's going to be above zero, you know what I mean? That's not that big a deal. People normally dress for it, but you always got an idiot who gets drunk and has their team's name painted across their chest in the middle of a snowy, icy place and go, I can handle it.
you
And
see
it's
you
only some
guys-
dude and not some big boob chick.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so
It's
sad.
depressing.
Right.
Did you guys see
5
Andy
minutes
Reid's
for the
mustache had icicles?
Yep.
Yeah,
it was
Andy, look, if he got thirsty, all he had to do.
his
all he had
face
to
was
do.
so burnt that you couldn't even tell he had red in his mustache anymore, which you can plainly see in all the commercials. It was just pure white and icicles. He
Yeah.
literally looked like he aged 20 years in that game.
Dribble some lemon flavoring on it, and you got popsicles right there. Just
Yep. Yo, did you
I
guys
can't
hear
do that.
about
My
Jim
mustache-
Irsay?
Yeah, I
Hey.
did hear about Ursay.
James Burgess says, if anyone reading this, if you see me shirtless at any game ever, high caliber to the back of the head so I don't see it coming. Obviously gone anyway.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Leonard-
Mark Bell says, I live in Green Bay. Their stadium is shit and the city is shit.
Yeah, it is. Leonard, I saw what happened to Ursay. That was crazy. To think
Oh,
about.
where
He's
he's
still
not
in the hot
unresponsive.
covering. The cops found him unresponsive. Yep.
Oh, Ursay?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Found
he had
Irsay
respiratory issues. He's recovering now in the hospital.
His dad was a mess too.
That being said,
Well, when you live like a rock star.
that being said, you know what we should start talking about? Let's get into these divisional games.
Woo! Woohoo!
So on Saturday, we got Green Bay versus 49ers. And I know we say FTP, but how sweet would a third home game be in a row if we win?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Imagine not bringing one home game to Detroit in the playoffs, but 3.
And
We
I
could
hope
have had that.
even though Jim Irsay probably is more mentally challenged than Justin Fields at reading a defense, I don't wish him ill will.
Hmm?
Jim Irsay,
Mhm.
I said he's more mentally challenged than Justin Fields is bad at reading a defense. I hope Jim Irsay is okay. You know, because special ed needs to be safe too. But
I got
I know.
into it with the.
I know I'm horrible.
Speaking of Bears, I had someone sit here and try and tell me that DJ Moore is a better wide receiver than both Amon-Ra St. Brown and CD Lamb.
Oh my
He
god.
bumped his head.
We don't
He might
know
have been
because we haven't
wrong.
seen him with a half decent quarterback in his career yet.
I'd
That's
still
true.
take Raw and CD though.
I would too.
Mhm.
His-
Just that nice, Jeremy. I'm genuinely concerned. Hey, I did say they deserve to be cared for. They don't deserve anything bad. I just like making funny comments. Don't take me seriously. Nobody
So-
else does.
So who's going first with the pick 'em? I'm confused.
Will,
My brain's not thinking.
well,
Shut
It
up.
would be cool to see a third home game, but I think you got you got a really solid.
I will be right.
You got a really stud offense with the 49ers. I think the 49ers defense is the difference in the game. Give me the 49ers.
okay. Von Doom.
It's a hard one. I'm going to go with the 49ers. I still don't think the Packers are a better team, and I don't think they're going to be able to bring the pressure to affect Brock Purdy enough to change the outcome as much as I want them to.
All right. Who do you got, Keegan?
Is Trent Brown playing?
You mean Trent Williams? Yeah.
Yeah, Trent Williams. Okay. If
Trent Brown, what's
he's
wrong with
playing,
you?
I'm taking 49ers because him protecting Purdy. If he's out, Purdy's gonna have might not even have a good game. So he plays 49ers. If he doesn't, Packers.
So who do you pick?
I got 49ers. News is reporting him to playing. I'm got 49ers.
Let's not ramble 18 minutes on one game. Cameron.
So I guess this makes me a little bit of an odd sheep, and I know, again, we are a FTP organization. However, I found this, and this has kind of been my pick for any of the Green Bay games.
Green Bay football.
My late grandfather's Green Bay Packers hoodie. Found it buried in my closet, and I wore it last week when they beat Dallas, and I'll wear it this week when they beat San Francisco.
And Bellichek says, I'm in James. 49ers take out Pack with ease. Hopefully so much they get cocky. Picking the Packers from LDV Tennis. James says, Ken Bellichek, no time for a second mortgage like now. Though I need to know your position on hookers and blow because I might get weak. As long as that's a wide receiver or tight end and you're talking about Hendon Hooker throwing him the ball, I'm in.
Exactly.
Cameron liked that one.
I did.
Sorry,
I was evicting my cat from my office.
I'm going to take the 49ers. I think they're the more complete team. They're rested. And I know the rest are rust thing. But I just think their defense is more overbearing than what Dallas's is.
I have another reason that I would vote the Packers.
I know.
Every team that played their starters in Week 18, with the exception of, I guess, Dallas and Philly, won last week. Green Bay absolutely dismantled Dallas. We beat.
Come on. That's because it's the same cycle it is every year ever since they won their last Super Bowl that Jerry Jones prayed for and wished for. You want to know what it was?
One
He
more
said,
Super Bowl.
I wish we win one more when he hired Barry Switzer because he fired Jimmy Johnson because he didn't like Jimmy Johnson taking the spotlight.
Yeah.
He got his wish. He got his one more Super Bowl and hasn't been back since.
Mm-hmm.
James Burgess says, I want the Pack to win, but if I'm in Vegas, San Francisco 100%. And Steve, our resident Packer fan, comes in and says, what's up, everyone?
What is up, Mr. Steve?
49ers. So the next one is the Ravens versus Texans. Who you got, Will?
That Texans defense looked amazing last week. And I really don't trust Lamar in the playoffs, even though I think he'll win the MVP for the regular season. Give me a feel-good story and give me the Texans go to their first AFC championship.
Okay, Will. I'm going to say I disagree with what Will said about not trusting Lamar in the playoffs. He's a completely different guy this year. He got his bag. He bet on himself. The Ravens' defense is nasty. With that being said, I still don't give a fuck. I like C.J. Stroud. I'm rocking with the Texans all the way. I'm taking the Texans to beat the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Keegan.
I'd love to take the Texans, but as a Lions fan, Texans lose. Dan Campbell is a favorite to win Coach of the Year. So I'm taking the Ravens.
I'd still give it to D'Amico.
D'Amico Ryan is winning Coach of the Year. He took a team that finished with a 2021 Lions record last year and has
Come
made
on,
it to the
Keith.
divisional round of the playoffs in the first year with a rookie quarterback. He
True.
He helped build that team more or less from the ground up in the draft last year, and took them to the
As a
divisional round.
rookie head coach.
Yeah,
That's your coach of the year.
DeMeco Ryans is coach of the year.
by far.
That's like we all want Sam Laporta to be offensive rookie of the year. CJ Stroud's taking that.
Right.
Exactly.
It sucks,
Deservingly
but
so.
yeah,
So
it sucks.
Who are you
But
taking in the game?
Who
are you taking in the game?
I'm taking Texans, but it's gonna be a closer one than anticipated. You've got because everyone's hung up on how the Texans' defense dismantled the Browns. Lamar's a whole other beast from Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's not a super mobile QB. If Lamar gets too pressured or he starts making mistakes throwing the ball, he's got his legs to fall back on. And that's going to provide a whole lot more of a challenge than what Flacco did.
Yeah.
And Flacco had success running the ball, too, last week.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going Texans.
Quick question.
I think because of week 18 they rested. They had another week off. Yes, that means they're rested and everything else, but nobody came back off their IR yet.
Yep.
OBJ got banged up the last time they played in week 17, and he's sitting out of practices right now. So
Mark Andrews practicing, though.
Mark Andrews is finally back. That's good for him. But I think Isaiah Likely was doing better than Mark Andrews started.
I like Isaiah Likely. I said that last year coming out of Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, we both agreed on him.
So
He was that tweener, a wide receiver / tight end body. McCarthy staying in Dallas, I think, is the biggest mistake since the Packers didn't fire him after Favre left.
True.
I was going to ask, what was the over-under with OBJ getting hurt?
I had it at 10 steps off the tarmac. He lasted way longer than that.
Just barely.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go on to the next game. Oh, we'll skip past ours. What's the other AFC game? Oh, yeah. Bills versus Chiefs in Buffalo. I'm going to start with Cameron this time. Who you got?
Give me Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes has proven that he struggles without a valid wide receiver out on the end. Kadarius Toney proved that his hands are just for decoration. You've got Buffalo, who is finally starting to play a complete game of football again. Give me Buffalo.
Keegan?
No, last 2 years, Buffalo has lost in Arrowhead. So now that they're home, I feel like they're going to come out strong and Bills are going to win.
Van Dome.
Well, first off, I'm going to take the over on the rushing prop for both quarterbacks, and I think it'll be done in the first quarter. And I'm going to take the goddamn Buffalo Bills. They're going to win that game. But we don't know if that game's going to be played on time or not because they are expecting another 2 foot of snow.
They said that they're not going to move it no matter what.
Yep. Will?
Josh Allen's first home game in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes, and Kadarius Toney has stone hands, so you might as well call him Kadarius Stoney. So, give me the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills as well. I don't think the Chiefs get any further. It's the juiciest game on the slate for one reason. You got Josh Allen, you got Pat Mahomes, you got Taylor will be up in the suite looking through the frost-covered windows, getting everybody dancing if they're doing good.
That's not what I'm hearing.
Oh, she's not going?
I'm hearing that her security is advising her not to go.
Oh,
I bet you Jason's going, though.
Jason will be there.
Going to have the whole crowd swag surfing again.
That's actually funny. I loved that. I'm sorry, but that's pretty fun. That looks like a fun thing.
Travis' mom looked like she was not impressed.
Everybody else went with Bills except for LDV Tennis. He says Allen will self-destruct. Bills Chiefs, juiciest game of the slate. In Buffalo Mafia now for once has Mahomes and the Buffalo equivalent of Dealey Plaza. Buffalo has learned to run. Yeah, that's the thing. Pacheco's a great runner, but they've been great against the run the whole entire time. And no one circles the wagons at home like the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, amen.
And now to our favorite game, near and dear our hearts. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers come traveling to the Motor City to face off against the Detroit Lions. I only got one fan that actually isn't just a Lions fan in here. Will, you go first.
You guys know who I'm picking. Fort Field's going to be rocking much more than it was last week. And you'll hear my score prediction on Friday because I'll be there on Friday. I don't work at all. Give me the Detroit Lions to beat the Succaneers.
Cameron.
I'm going Detroit. I don't think it's going to be a 14-point game like it was last time, but I think it's heavily going in Detroit's favor this week.
Egan?
By the looks of the way that Baker played against the Eagles, some of the balls he threw were questionable. So I think this is a game where our secondary is going to lock down Evans and Godwin. We've done it before. I think it's going to happen again. Now I'm taking the Lions.
Fandom.
You're a cat or a lion.
Mine. I'm sorry. That's my cat.
Is it named Detroit Lion?
No, his name's Ronan. He has separation anxiety, and I'm in my office with the door shut. And my wife is in the bedroom with the door shut, so he's losing his shit. I apologize.
No need to apologize. I'm going to take the Lions in a close one. I'm thinking it's going to be like 24-17 in that range. Will, I'm going to need you to bone up on your insults and your jokes a little bit, man. You got me around here. You're gonna have to step your game up, homie.
Dude, I'm a Panthers fan also. I call them the Succaneers for a reason.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna say the F word at Nears because
The lesser of the cat teams, the big cat teams.
I know. Don't remind me. Please don't remind me. We suck. I know.
With both of our starting running backs out and those four key defensive players that did not play that may be able to play this week, I think it's going to be a great matchup. I want to see how Jonah Jackson lines up with Vita Vea because he's been wrecking teams lately. Our tackles are fine at doing what they do and keeping Goff upright. Most of the stuff has been from collapsing interior on stunts that we've seen when Goff gets sacked. So we got all five starters playing healthy, and none of them had to take a day off today. So guess what? Forward down the field, Lions win. I think it's a 7 to 8 point win at best. I don't see a double-digit win. I don't see 2 touchdowns different. I think both teams are playing well, and we're going to see a good game. But we're going to see that crowd cause them to get flustered, get some delay of games, get some false starts, maybe even have to burn some timeouts inopportune that may cost them the game.
Hey, our crowd forced
LA to use
LA
2
to
timeouts.
2 timeouts.
So to recap, I said, and I'm going to reiterate it right now, Texans, Bills, 49ers, and Lions. You recap yours, Will.
Texans, Bills, Lions, Niners.
Bandom.
Yeah, I'm on that same boat right there.
Okay.
I
Keegan?
think
I got Bills, Lions, 49ers, and Ravens.
Okay. And Cameron, the only thing you had different was Packers instead of Niners, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a mean Inagata Davida gotta hit Baker.
Also, the nickname for Tampa is Tampon Bay.
Yes. Coined by Smoking Dad.
So let's also not forget. I mean, you addressed it with the 4 key defensive playmakers being back. We got CD Deuce back, and we got James Houston. More than likely, he's going to be back. I'm going to keep an eye out for that tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure we'll see him back.
Got on offense though. We got both starting running backs, which we didn't have then.
Yep.
And we still had a decent running game with what was it? Zonovan and Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Man.
Let's not forget that massive hit that Craig Reynolds had last time.
Yeah,
That's not a hit that you have short-term memory about, receiving. I've played football, and that was not. I was fortunate enough to never get hit like that, but that's just something that you don't forget about.
Paul Diem has it as a 10-point win, 31-21. Lions, King of the Jungle. All I know is I'm going to be singing King Louis' song from Jungle Book if we win.
I will be playing GMAT Cash.
Same here.
Oh, I play that already.
Same. I had Alexa blasting that through the house last week. Every single room in my house had it playing.
What is it called? GMAC Cash?
It's GMAT Cash. Lions won again. He wrote it after they absolutely demolished the Cardinals back in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Lions won a game. Bitch.
Bitch.
It was...
I'll have to listen to it for sure.
Good. I on my reel when it says NFC North champ. That song.
Oh, okay. I like that one.
Yeah, and D'Amico is the head coach of the Texans.
Yep.
Jalen. So
yeah, he's watching a lot of tape. Speaking of tape, Todd Bowles was in an interview yesterday, and this Tampa Bay reporter asked him, "Are you preparing your players to play in that cold that's going to be up there in Detroit?" I mean, I realize they have an indoor stadium, but it's really cold up there.
Oh,
we play in the dome.
Oh, that was.
That's what Bowles said too.
Yeah, I saw that. I was kind of.
You realize they're indoors there, right? As in it's heated.
We'll be outside for about 20 seconds. I think we'll be all right.
All right.
That report right there is a prime example that if you just get on your knees and put in the work, we'll give you a press pass.
Well, I think the only reason why she got a press pass is the guy that was from Tampa that ran the NFL carousel passed away. And she took his spot on the Tampa Tribune just because she had a journalism degree.
Oh, I knew the guy who you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. Tom talked about him all the time. He was a great guy.
I love that.
I'm sticking with what I said. I don't care.
That or she was doing her best impression of AG while Will filmed it. And I'm talking about Harris.
Thank God.
She was doing her best Kamala Harris impression.
Yeah, that guy was a legend.
I wasn't going politics.
I
Not
wish
this
that
time.
guy was still around.
Well,
right.
Hey, man, I'm all for it. Use what you got to your advantage.
Oh, cool question. Now that the Irsay passed, do you think the Colts are going to start over?
Irsay still
Irsay
alive.
didn't pass.
So, some owner did. They had a heart attack.
No. He had trouble breathing. It wasn't a heart attack. They thought it was a heart attack.
Okay, that's all. ESPN reported it was a heart attack, and that was it.
It's been updated. It was a
You
respiratory
can
issue.
read your news, buddy. Come on.
Okay, so with
English
the
is hard.
with the topic of who's winning what awards this year, I found it. So I have all of the current front runners for each of the awards pulled up.
The 6 offensive rookies I know, it's C.J. Stroud, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs,
Puka
Behan
Nacua.
Robinson, and Devin Achane, along with Puka Nacua.
So current front runner for each award, MVP is Lamar Jackson. Comeback player of the year is DeMar Hamlin. I think it should be Joe Flacco, but offensive player of the year is Christian McCaffrey. Defensive player of the year is Myles Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive rookie of the year is C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive rookie of the year is currently Jalen Carter. Brian Branch has been bumped from the top 4.
How many games did Carter miss? Wasn't he hurt?
Mm.
He only
So the current coach of the year is Kevin Stefanski.
for the Browns?
Yes.
For the Bengals. Yeah, Browns.
Yes.
Wow.
For the
Should be.
Browns. Now, it should be D'Amico Ryans. I think it'll end up being D'Amico Ryans. This is... Hold on, let me see. This is from... When was this article posted?
Christian McCaffrey is fully healthy. Can Green Bay run the ball on the Niners? That remains to be seen. That's the biggest question mark. If they can't run the ball and they force it to become one-dimensional, Jordan Love has been good, but that secondary is awesome for the 49ers.
Yep.
Yes.
So I don't see those wide receivers being wide open 15 to 20 yards downfield.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
If TJ Watt didn't get hurt, I agree with you.
TJ Watt
Also-
would be player of the year if he didn't get hurt that last game.
I absolutely do not agree with the whole DeMar Hamlin being comeback player of the year. He sucked before he got hurt. Then he died on the field. Just because you live doesn't mean you should be a comeback player. It means you had decent fucking doctors. You didn't do shit this year.
Well, he did die 3 times between the field, the ambulance, and the hospital.
Yeah.
I get
I don't give a
that,
shit.
but
It
even...
doesn't even do anything about the game. He didn't do a goddamn thing.
Didn't Terry McLaurin get shot 6 times last year and then come back?
That was Brian
Robinson.
Oh. Did he get comeback player of the year?
The year that happened, it was 2 years ago. No,
That was last year.
That was last year.
It was last year because he made his return.
No, Smith.
Exactly. So if he got shot and still managed to come back by like week 3 and played an entire season and played well, and he didn't get it, why the fuck should DeMar Hamlin? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see that Hamlin is happy and healthy and playing again. But he was mediocre before then. He's mediocre now. The only thing that changed was the fact that he almost died. Hell, there was a player a couple years ago that he played for Kansas City, had cancer, went into remission.
Eric Weddle,
Was it Eric Weddle?
the
Did
safety,
he end up?
going to the Rams.
Yeah, did he end up getting comeback player of the year?
He did that year because they made it to the AFC Championship.
He did something to
And
help
he
his
played-
team actually make. Huh?
And he played good.
well. Yeah, he was a good player.
Right. He had like 5 picks that year and 4 sacks and 3 forced fumbles.
Hell, Jared Goff from 21 to 22 would have been a better candidate for comeback player of the year than DeMar Hamlin.
All right, hey Kim. Now that you're saying this, who is your pick for comeback player?
Joe Flacco.
Joe
Dude
Flacco?
went from his couch to help the Browns secure a fucking playoff spot.
Right. Granted, he came out and threw, 5 picks his first game and struggled against a good defense. But the next 4 games,
He
he
played
only had
perfect.
3 interceptions and averaged 400 yards a game.
Joe Flacco's comeback player of the year. Dude came in halfway through the season. Now, granted, the Browns were already doing decent, but he helped maintain their trend and get them to the playoffs. Joe Flacco, in my opinion, is comeback player of the year.
The year James Conner came back to play was the first year at Arizona, which was last year or 2 years ago?
2.
I don't remember.
It was 2 years ago. Yeah, so he didn't get it that year either. Not every feel-good story gets it. Sometimes it's something stupid. Like Geno Smith was a backup everywhere he ever was. Gets to go to Seattle and all of a sudden become a starter.
Plays well. He played well.
He played really well, but he went back to Geno Smith of old this year.
Yes, I think part of the reason he was
that guy.
I think the reason he earned Comeback Player of the Year last year is because when he was drafted to the NFL, there were really, really high expectations for him. He was drafted out of what, Baylor?
West
Texas?
Virginia.
Was it West Virginia? Oh, yeah, it was West Virginia. That's right. I knew it was a Big 12 team. But he got drafted, had high-ass expectations, didn't meet the expectations, got bumped to a backup, comes back in Seattle, plays some of the best ball of his life. He earned Comeback Player of the Year. If Damar Hamlin gets Comeback Player of the Year, he did not earn it. He had it handed to him. And I will stand by that.
I agree.
You did not
I'm with Cameron
anything.
100% on that.
You did not do anything to assist your team in earning their position in the playoffs. You were mediocre before. You're mediocre now. You continue to play at a mediocre level. You have maybe a good play here and there.
Yep.
But because you died on a field in a freak accident, so to speak, because that's what it was, he got hit at just, from what I read, he got hit at just the right time in his heartbeat that it caused his heart to stop.
Right.
But because of that, and you managed to, because he didn't even come back till what, halfway through the season? Like week 5, week 6, week 7?
He didn't come back at all last year. He didn't come back.
No, this year. This year, that's what I'm asking. He came back like halfway through the season.
He came back in preseason. He's been playing all year.
Yeah, he's been playing all year.
But even still, he hasn't earned comeback. Yes, you died, you came back, you played football. All right, great. I mean, if you want to talk about freak accidents, what about the Lions player that died on the field way back in the fucking day? I can't remember his name. I wasn't.
Utley?
Huh?
Utley?
No, he never died.
No.
Jesus Christ. It's way before you were born. It's like happened in 1970.
Jeez.
I thought he said freak accident, not death.
No, he died in a freak accident on the field.
Oh, my bad.
Mike Utley just broke his neck.
I thought you said freak accident, not.
Yes, it was a freak accident that cost him his life. It wasn't the same scenario as Damar Hamlin.
The guy that died on the field, he had been really sick, and he played through it. And it wasn't that type of hit on the chest that did it, but he went to the sidelines after a play and literally collapsed. It was a wide receiver. And when he collapsed, he was quietly taken out. His teammates didn't even know that he was dead till they called while they were in the locker room.
That's the thing. It's like stuff like that, Now, because there were a couple other things that have rubbed me wrong over the last few days. One had been the attacks on Kirby Joseph. I want to say it was Kirby Joseph for his hit on Higbee.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dirty hit.
No. While he was in the air and his toe barely touched the ground, Kirby hit him in the thigh. By the time his leg went flat, the knee had already started to bend, and everybody's doing the still shot of when Kirby slid down his leg.
Mm-hmm. I've seen all the still shots of before he even made contact with him.
Right.
Yeah. You saw
And
that.
it's like, yes, he went low, so to speak, but he was aiming for thigh. If you weren't in the air, he was hitting you in your thigh. Now, granted, knee injury myself, they hurt. And some of the most freak accidents can cause them. Mine was in a soccer game. Dude kneed me in the back of my right knee as I came down. So while I was bracing my knee, he forced it to bend, causing mine to snap.
Jesus.
But that hit, what was the other one? It was that one. TJ Hawkinson, they claimed, was a dirty hit. And then there was someone else. Like, I think it was they said like a Browns player or some shit that we didn't even play this year, or Buffalo or something like that.
That was Chuck Hughes in 1971, the wide receiver that passed away.
Was it? Oh, yeah, the previous topic. There was nothing dirty or illegal about Kirby's hit. It was 100% by the book, so to speak. All he did was make sure that your ass was not catching that ball, hitting the ground, and continue running.
So about that, on a tight end that's jumping, the clean hit is to go low.
Well, here's the other thing. If you weigh 60 pounds less than somebody, are you going to hit them in their chest and have them throw you to the ground like Marshawn Lynch? Or are
Dude,
you going to throw their legs?
Dude, when I was in 8th grade, we had a trick play with a fullback that weighed over 300 pounds. 8th grade. And every time I went low, I'm sorry, you're not running me over. I'll have to fight you after the game. Like, no, I'm going low. I'm taking your knees.
Exactly.
Fuck that. I was like 125 pounds in 8th grade. This dude was like 300. Yeah, no, I'm good. It was a legal hit. It was clean. Matt Stafford should have seen the safety there, should have known better than to throw that ball. He put the tight end in that position.
Yep.
I'm loving this quote from Dan Campbell via Albert Breer in a quote today.
Mm-hmm.
To the fans who kept the faith, you deserve this. To the doubters, stay off our train. It's too late for you.
I saw that.
If you don't want your tight ends to get hurt, no high throws. Absolutely.
Yep.
How many times have we said that a quarterback has hung a receiver or tight end out to dry by throwing it too high, so they had to leave the ground?
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time. And it's not just Murphy. There's been a total of 9 or 10 tight ends across the league that's gotten hurt with an ACL or MCL tear in a similar type of hit.
Yeah.
Considered a clean play without being a player being fined or suspended.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing is Kirby has never been fined, suspended, or anything of that nature with these quote unquote dirty hits.
Right. And I don't know how he could be involved with a Browns hit because we didn't play the Browns.
No, it was either Browns or Buffalo. I don't even remember who was making the comment. I'm pretty sure I saw it on TikTok. It might have been the same dude that was sitting here saying that DJ Moore was better than CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Must be a Bear fan or a Vikings fan or something.
I was a Vikings fan because he was mad over the TJ Hawkinson hit. Thank you for saying that because I remembered seeing his profile picture.
Sir Rocker VWO. It's Sir Rocker VWO. Rob Haskell.
Maybe.
That reminds me, didn't someone get fined after the Tampa game for a hit? Thought I saw something.
No, the only one that I remember getting fined and everybody thought it was bullshit was when Branch hit Behan and the helmet got knocked off and it was a clean hit and he still got fined.
Saint got fined too. Saint got fined earlier this year.
He got fined for his touchdown dance.
No, he didn't get fined for the dance in Kansas City because he did, I think. He got fined. He got fined in the first Bears game this year.
What?
Because he went for a hit and the Bears player lowered their head. So it looked like Saint went for a helmet-to-helmet contact and they fined him because every player in the NFL, aside from Bears players, were up in arms about it, saying that it was a bullshit hit. Hold on here.
Yeah, that's the one. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
At our stadium.
Detroit Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has been fined $43,709 for unnecessary roughness stemming from a play during the November 19th win over the Chicago Bears per Jonathan Jones. For what was deemed an illegal block against the safety Jaquan Brisker in the first quarter. Because everybody was upset about that. If you weren't a Bears player, you were upset about that. Tyreek Hill commented on it. Can we talk about the feel-good story with this guy who was a still shot at the Lions game crying? He was caught crying after the Lions beat the Rams. Have y'all seen that story?
No, I know about the old guy who was a season ticket.
So he was there. There was a young man at the game. He was around my age.
Oh, I saw that.
His name is Aaron Joseph. I'm not going to butcher his last name. His father Joseph Allen was a season ticket holder when the Lions played at the Silverdome. He would take Aaron with him to watch all the games. They got to see the Lions beat the Cowboys during the last game at the Silverdome in 2002. Joseph was an iron worker belonging to Local 25 in Detroit and helped build Ford Field.
Oh,
Sadly, in 2004, he died in a tragic motor vehicle accident when Aaron was only 14 years old. He was buried in his Detroit Lions leather jacket. Aaron's brother Robbie surprised them with tickets to last Sunday's game. They watched it with their mom, Amy. The emotion we all saw by Aaron is as raw and as genuine as they come. It would be amazing if the Ford family or a generous Lions fan treat Aaron, his brother, and their mom the tickets for the upcoming game against the Tampa Bay Bucks at Ford Field.
I hope they get tickets.
I think if enough people reach out to the Detroit Lions organization, email, phone call, whatever, I think that we can get some sort of ball rolling in the right direction. That dude is, I'm sorry, but and I know there's some of those feel-good stories where it's just something doesn't add up, but seeing that dude's face and reading his story and everything like that, like there's no way you can't want him to be at that game.
Yep. Oh.
Especially when your dad was it his dad or grandpa?
It was his dad. His dad took him to games as a kid. His dad passed away in a motor vehicle accident when he was only 14.
Especially when your dad helped build Ford Field.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of emotion in that.
Yes. You're a part of that Lions family now, and then we should treat them like family.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a meme earlier that says Chicago Bears hire offensive coordinator Coach Klein. Thought that one was funny. If you don't know who Coach Klein is, I need you to brush up on your Adam Sandler cinematography.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about, yep. Well,
that's basically it, guys. Hendon plays in the preseason next year. Elephant in the room, Lions win versus Tampa. Goff is now a local god. When do we find out how good Hendon is? He was going to win the Heisman. I believe he will be Hendon will be playing in the preseason. We will see him, and he'll probably be competing because you do not draft a third-round quarterback to not be a starter.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What would y'all think if... Oh, go ahead.
So, here's the thing. Brad Holmes has been scouting him for 10 years since he was in the 8th grade. Because at that time, he was at University of North Carolina, Greensboro, finishing his master's degree while he scouted the SEC for the Rams. That is how all of this got started, is because that field was across the street from the apartment he rented while he went to school. So he would walk across the street and watch this 8th grader play football and met his dad and became a friend of the family. He would fly from LA on vacations and go with his family to have dinner with his family. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say he's starting. You didn't listen, Braylon. The only way he's starting, if Ben Johnson isn't here and we decide not to extend Goff and we move on, that's it. I'm dead serious about that. It all depends on Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson takes a head coaching job somewhere, Brad Holmes wanted Hendon Hooker. You heard it in his voice when he called him on the phone. It's so great to be calling this Greensboro number again. Not a number in Greensboro. This Greensboro number again.
Yep.
You guys will be surprised. That's all I got to say if we move on from Goff.
I agree. He's going to be fun to watch.
What were you saying, Cam? You were starting to say something.
Oh, I was going to say, how surprised would y'all be if Detroit ends up pulling something kind of like Green Bay does with their quarterbacks every year, where they have them sit and just watch a veteran couple years, learn from them, pick it up. Because that's what Green Bay does. They draft a quarterback, let him sit for 4 years, let him play for 12. They end up having like a 16-year freaking career. They always manage to win at least one Super Bowl in that period. Favre took one, I'm pretty sure. Rodgers had one. The timelines are always the exact same for their quarterbacks, and their quarterbacks, for some freaking reason, always have the identical first season. Every single
There's something
year.
about Green Bay in general. Cam, there's just something about Green Bay in general. If you go back and look at it, no football team in history has the amount of titles that they have had.
That's true.
There's a reason it's called the freaking Lombardi Trophy. There's a reason they're called Title Town.
Goff's agent may have been told it wasn't a perfect year, but you know what? There's a reason why they haven't done it in 2 contract talks. The money's this far apart. The money is far apart. And Brad Holmes and 13 world championships. Now, you're going to bring up world championships. Don't forget, the Lions do have 4.
Yep. That's why when everyone asked me, what was the last time you won any type of championship, or when was the last time you won a big name championship? 1957.
World War
4 Super Bowl.
We all know 57, 54, 52, and 34, our inaugural season.
Wasn't that when everybody was in war?
No.
But
That actually was the report that came out. Brad Holmes said it himself. We're far apart on money. In a presser way back just before Thanksgiving.
I honestly think that Goff's agent would be stupid to not close that gap and meet in the middle just to keep him in Detroit. It's like you said, Goff's not worth a super huge contract.
My phone is over here. I am not saying those words that you just typed. That was Bobby Lane in 1957.
But the reason, it's like you said, the reason Goff has played as well as he has is that front 5. If he does not have that front 5, he doesn't. It's like Jamal Williams. Dude broke Barry Sanders' rushing touchdown record last year, led the league in rushing touchdowns. He had 1 this year. And the only reason he got it is because Arthur Smith told him to go out there and run victory formation. Was it Arthur Smith?
No, that was Jameis.
Jameis, yeah.
That was Jameis' decision.
Yes, I know that. Who was the
Dennis
Saints
Allen.
Dennis Allen, that's who it was. Dennis Allen told him to go out there in victory formation, knee it, and according to Jameis, the offensive team decided, hey, we're going to get him 1 touchdown this year. It took the team coming together on offense, so to speak, to get him his first touchdown.
Yes.
And you couldn't do that 18 weeks at all. You couldn't get him 1 touch. He proved how good he was in the, that space last year with Detroit. But we had the Detroit O-line.
Yeah.
It's not even just that, though. Anytime they would get to that spot, they would run Taysom Hill.
Yep.
And I agree with that because Taysom Hill's a $50 million contract.
Yep.
Was $100 million until they restructured it.
Why do I have a feeling that there was a touchdown bonus somewhere in Jamal's contract?
Not for 1 touchdown.
Huh? No, I understand that. But that would also explain why part of it would be they didn't trust in, or they didn't let Jamal run it in.
Jamal heard all the fans when they were in New Orleans when we beat them and talking about what a bust he was leaving Detroit.
Did he actually?
He left Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
Brad Holmes' offer. I'm quite sure he heard all the fans talk about how we're better without him. And it's true.
We got, even it's the same thing with Swift. Swift had a phenomenal year, but neither of those 2 running backs had the production.
4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
1 for Jamal. They accounted for 5 touchdowns all year in the running game.
Didn't both? I know Montgomery had 10. Did Gibbs have 10?
I think he did.
I have been waiting since February 1st, 1958, 65 years. Lucky me, go Lions. Absolutely, Scott Smith. That being said, it is time to end the show. it's getting late.
He did have 10.
He had 10, and Jameer had 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had 20. So we had 4 times as many touchdowns as those two put together. Yeah. He had 11.
JB broke it.
He had 11 touchdowns. He had 10 rushing and 1 receiving.
Okay, Cameron.
Yeah.
So, shout out to my sponsor, Gloss and Negron. Give him a call if you need window tinting and you're in the Tri-Cities area here in Michigan. That's 989-443-9240. He does a great job. He also does auto detailing. He can make your whip look inside and out as good as this. Or that Audi. To all the teams that lost in the wild card round, all I got to say is this: much better. I censored you. Cry like bitch should.
I'm gonna need you to send that one to me, Jeremy.
And last but not least, our favorite sponsor. It's 3 little letters. And no, it doesn't mean the florist. It's FTP. What does it mean, guys?
Fuck the
The
Packers.
Packers.
Fuck.
Fuck the Packers.
Nice.
Always will.
We're always going to say that, Steve, because that's my joke on the nighttime show. FTP is fuck the Packers. No offense meant to any Packer fans, but fuck the Packers.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
You know what? I'm tired of you talking about my team like that. I own 1 share of that fucking team. Stop being so nasty about them.
Same. I actually had a relative who played for them.
And that being said, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts within here. Much love to everybody in the chat. LDB Tennis, Scott Smith, Steve, James Burgess, Smoking Dad, Braylon Dennis, all you guys. You know, I love every one of you. Even though you may disagree with my opinion, guess what? That's okay. Opinions are that way. My opinion doesn't match yours. You don't match mine. Because opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and usually they stink. Have a blessed day.